Hello friends. Stephen Covey once said, most people listen with the intent to reply, not with the intent to understand. Here, he emphasized the importance of active listening in learning. Today, we are going to discuss about a very important function in Excel. It is VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP stands for vertical lookup. Let me tell you folks, this is one of the most powerful, as I said, and important for your Excel operations, right? Now, we are going to learn how we can perform VLOOKUP, right? So why VLOOKUP? My first question. Why VLOOKUP? Let's say you have a data sheet similar to this, where you have an employee number, employee name, or any other data which has some missing values. Like in this case, we have few columns, empty columns, basically with missing values like city, gender, compensation. These informations are available in another sheet that you could see it here, which has all those informations which we wanted. However, in order to retrieve those information, in order to bring those informations, right, I have to manually, right, if I don't know VLOOKUP, I have to manually copy this employee number using a find option. Then I have to, you know, retrieve those informations manually. However, the challenge is it takes a lot of time and man efforts, right? Now, if it is a small data, it is possible for us to do it manually. However, when you work on a large, I'm saying when you work in a large database, it is very tedious for you to do it manually. That is why we are using a VLOOKUP function. VLOOKUP function helps you to retrieve informations in the most efficient way, and it saves a lot of time, right? And the data will also be very accurate when you do it through VLOOKUP. Before we start a VLOOKUP function, we need to identify a unique field, okay, in your working file. In this case, my working file has employee number, employee name, city, gender, and all other fields. Now, I want to identify something which is unique in this. When I say unique, name may not be unique, right? Similarly, the city may not be unique, gender may not be unique, but employee number, two people may not share the same number. Two person may not share the same employee number. Two person may not share the same mobile number, or let's say the student ID. So we need to identify such fields, right, and consider that as our reference cell, right? Now in this case, I consider employee number as a reference cell, and let's build VLOOKUP formula from the scratch, right, using an employee number as a reference cell, a lookup value, basic, right? Let's start with equal to VLOOKUP tab. It just read out the syntax. You don't need to remember the syntax, right? It is available for you, so you can see that it says lookup value. So what is our unique value which we are going to use it for sourcing the data? We are going to compare employee number from this sheet to another sheet, and we are going to retrieve information based on that matching, right? So now in this case, I am going to see the lookup value, which is employee number. I'm going to select that, which is A2, comma, then the next one gets highlighted, which is table array. The table array is there in the source file. So alt tab I'm using, I'm going to the source file. There I'm selecting employee number, employee name, and city. Three columns only three columns, because I'm going to retrieve only one column, which is city at this moment. Later we can extend it to other columns also. Now, employee number should be, please remember, whenever you do a source selection, whenever you select the array, please remember the reference column should be the leftmost column. In this case, employee number is the reference column, unique. So I start with that and extend my selection till city. Then it becomes third column from the leftmost column, which is employee number is first column. This is second one, employee name, city. This is a C column, will be third column. So 3 comma. I'm giving 0 because we are going with exact match. Purpose, most of the times the purpose of doing a VLOOKUP is to get extract information which are exactly matching with your. So exact match, instead of giving false, you can type false as well. But instead of that, I'm giving 0 because both are same. So after that, you can enter it. You'll find now city names have been well captured, has been retrieved from the source file. This is a working file. Now, once you have done with that, in order to extend it, okay, if I have done it for one column, if you want to bring it for other columns, right? If we don't know the absolute reference, if we don't know the dollar sign usage, you have to manually do it again other columns for other columns, right? Instead of that, if you know the dollar sign usage, okay, we can able to do one VLOOKUP and extend our selection and bring all the columns which we wanted, right? In this case, let me build it again for all the columns. Let me delete it. I'm going to do VLOOKUP again. This time I'm going to select entire range. I'm going to use a dollar sign, okay, which some people, if you are not aware of the dollar sign, I have done another video, a separate video on absolute reference dollar sign, which you could find in my channel. You can see that for more information on dollar sign usage. So here, assuming that everyone knows, so I'm putting VLOOKUP, select lookup value, which is the reference cell, right? We have to select that reference cell as a lookup value, comma. Then using Alt tab, go to the sheet. From there, you have to select the data set. Here, the selection, that reference cell should be the leftmost cell. So start with that, select entire range this time instead of only 3 columns, and then comma. We are going to take the first one, which is city, which is 3, comma, exact match. The difference between the previous VLOOKUPs, we have selected the range only till C, but this time we have extended the range till Z. I hope you learned, right? Now, giving enter, I get Hyderabad as a reference. Now, to extend this information, okay, we need to ensure that the column A2 is constant. Because if I copy paste this data to the next column D, what happens? The A2 will become B2, result will become an error. So instead that, to keep that A2 constant, which means not A2 constant, A constant, which is a column, 2 can become 3. However, the column should not move to the column reference should not be B, right? So we are putting a dollar sign in front of A, so that A will not become B. If I put a dollar sign in front of number, 2 will not become 3. I'm putting a dollar sign in front of A, then copy paste this, paste it till the end, okay? You can manually do it, or in case if you want to do it without dragging like this, if you want to paste it, there's another option also, right? You have it. Now in this case we just did it manually, right? Then control C, paste special. Yeah, before that let's change the values. So we got Hyderabad in all places because the reference cell is 3. Now what you have to do is change the reference cell. Now for gender, change it to 4. Compensation, change it to 5. Reference cells, we are just changing the reference cells. For date of joining, we can have it as, we can change it as 6. For department, we can have it as 7. Reference cell numbers. I hope you understood. What we have done here is we just selected the entire range instead of only the columns we want. In the sense, instead of only one column, we have extended the range. Now we are changing the reference cell column numbers based on the requirement. Here it is 3, 4, we have 4th column, like that we have taken till 7, and then you can just select entire thing together and you can drop down here. So now you can able to see city, gender, compensation, date of joining, and department all captured here, right? So we got the results in one go. We got all the informations which we wanted from the another sheet. Now once we got the information, the first thing you have to do immediately once the entire activity is completed, change these values into change these formulas into values using Control C, right click, paste special values. Or if you are comfortable with shortcut, it is select the cell, Control C, Alt E S values. Right? The reason being, we should not leave the relationship between source file and the working file. You know what happens if you leave it? In case if you don't convert the formula into values, in case something happens to that source file, it gets unknowingly deleted, or some error in your source file, it will have an impact on this working file. So we need to ensure that we remove that the relationship between two files by converting the formula into values. That is very important. I hope you learned the concept of VLOOKUP with this exercise. You know how to use a dollar sign inside a VLOOKUP also. In case if you have any doubt in dollar sign, you have the other video as is mentioned earlier to see and understand the concept, right? With this, I think we understood the concept of VLOOKUP very clearly. Thank you.